Hello and welcome to a Boxing Insider special. This week I'm joined by talkSPORT's very own Adi Oladipo. Now Adi, tell everybody where we are this week.
Not quite yet. We're at a very special location, secret location as well. Now a lot of you would have seen the Gypsy King Tyson Fury wear these wonderful suits, but you might not know how it all came together. We're going to meet the man that puts these suits together, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be exciting.
And this is a two-part special. Every suit has its own story, so make sure you watch all the way until the end. Adi, what are you most excited about?
Just the journey. I mean, you know, we know these suits are eccentric, they're fabulous, but we might not know the story behind them as well. And I want to know the story. I want to know what came. Like, how did that come? Where did that come from? I want to know the story of each suit, and I think when we meet the person that puts them together, we'll find out a bit more.
Now, before you get to see the suits, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Now, this is the first ever suit you made for Tyson Fury. Talk us through how this relationship started back in 2015.
Sure, look, the story begins in August the 1st, 2015, when I get a call from a member of Team Fury. And the first question is, do I know who Tyson Fury is? Of course, I respond, the Gypsy King. They said, you're aware he's going to be fighting Vladimir Klitschko. And I was very excited because I've been following the coverage. Now, I didn't know that I only had less than 18 hours to get a suit prepared and drive up to Morecambe. But my idea when I came up with this particular outfit was that I wanted to go for something that almost resembled a 1950s mob boss, a Don Corleone figure, an Al Capone figure. I went for the heavy checks and a bowl-cut waistcoat. And I drove up to Morecambe. What I wasn't aware of, or what I was aware of but wasn't expecting, was Tyson's freakishly long arms. The sleeve length was about 4 inches out, and Tyson sort of stared at me and goes, I like the suit, but what are we going to do about these arms? And I had about 48 hours to prepare the suit and arrive at the press conference. And I arrive at the press conference, I hand over the suit to Paris, and I take my seat, and I can't wait to watch the press conference unfold. It's my first ever boxing press conference, and Tyson arrives as Batman. So I'm sitting there thinking, where's the suit? What's happened with the outfit? What I wasn't aware of was that Tyson was actually using my suit as his prop for his Bruce Wayne outfit. So this is being made iconic by Tyson through his use of it, making it a prop, and ultimately terrorizing Klitschko not only as Batman but as Bruce Wayne as well.
I like it. You know what I like more about this? It's almost the Tyson Fury before he became, in my eyes, the Gypsy King.
Definitely.
There's like, you go and look at the other suits that we're going to talk about, and they're not, this clearly isn't as eccentric as those. And I feel like this is Tyson Fury before he even knew who he was. And Tyson Fury goes on later in life to talk about mental health and the split personalities. And I almost feel like this is a Tyson Fury that's a bit unsure of what direction he wants to go in. And look, we'll go through the other suits in a bit, but the other suits, clearly there is a direction. He knows exactly what he wants. This suit is almost a case of, I'm going to come in, I'm going to be sharp, I'm going to be slick. Give me a couple of years and then we're going to turn the heat up on this thing. And he does, doesn't he?
I learned a lot, actually, just by witnessing how he performed within this outfit. I saw the playful nature of the Gypsy King, the humorous attitude, as well. You mentioned it yourself. It's actually the origin story of the Gypsy King to an extent.
This is it, right? Yeah.
How did fans see him back then in 2015? Because he, as you were saying there, wasn't the global star which he is now. Many were unaware of the personality which he possessed. He got himself in trouble at times for some of the comments he made. Yeah,
we were unsure as to how good he was going to be, if I'm honest with you. I remember going into that Vladimir Klitschko fight, massive underdog. You're going to Dusseldorf, Germany. You're taking on Vladimir Klitschko, who hadn't been beaten for 9 years. Arguably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, regardless of the opponents he was. And before that, I remember being in camp with Derek Chisora in the lead-up to the Tyson Fury fight, which was about a year before this one. And it was almost like Chisora's got a chance. Little did we know Tyson Fury was that good. Then there's Christian Hamer, and then this. So we knew he was good. We certainly, and no one can pretend, we certainly didn't know he was going to be that good. So this was almost a case of we're unsure. And I think Tyson Fury, to be fair, was probably a bit unsure as well.
Right, it's time for the next suit. Right now, let's fast forward to 2019. Tyson Fury making his grand entrance into Las Vegas. Talk us through this suit.
Well, one of the briefs that I got is, Nav, we're going to Vegas, we've got to steal the show, we've got to make a statement. I'm the headliner, the showstopper, the main event. So obviously we had to come up with something that was obviously going to capture the imaginations of the American fans. And Tyson at the time was very much screaming about the lineal nature. Tyson's a self-proclaimed boxing historian. And ultimately what we wanted to do was embed that idea on the garments. And we've gone for this 1910 cigarette packets using all the bare knuckle brawlers of the bygone era. And ultimately you've got one of the original lineal heavyweight champions and John L. Sullivan on here on the suit. So we just wanted to make an impact as Tyson hit the grand stage in Vegas.
You know what I like more about this suit, and Nav mentioned it there with the bare knuckle boxing. This is when I think we started to see the heritage of Tyson come through as well. The Gypsy King was born. The Lineal Champion was born, because everyone was like, okay, look, yes, you won all those belts against Vladimir Klitschko, but you have none. It was like, well, 1 second, I have got one. I'm the Lineal Champion. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And then all of a sudden, you're seeing some of the bare-knuckle boxing kings from back in the day, Lineal Champions on this as well. And Tyson Fury almost put those on and morphed into the Lineal Heavyweight Champion. And that's what I think when I see this suit. Tyson Fury morphing into the Lineal Heavyweight Champion of the world.
And one thing that's interesting to point out is that this is the suit that he wore for the press conference for the Tom Schwartz fight. So
yeah.
We'd already had that first fight against Deontay Wilder, but it was clear then they wanted to build Fury as this American star. And do you think they achieved? His last 5 fights have been in the States.
He did. You know what I find more even like he achieved is this. That's what he came out with, didn't he? These shorts. It was almost like they're coming to America, like the Rocky movies. And I was like, oh God, I'm sold. If you're selling tickets, I'm buying everyone right now. So I think they were trying to push him as that American star. Because look, let's not forget how he got up off the canvas in that Deontay Wilder first fight. It was like, okay, you're now a star. And the Tom Schwartz fight was a case of just showcasing how good he was. Remember that bit against Tom Schwartz where he's doing all that?
The Matrix.
Oh, it was ridiculous. And that's when Tyson Fury became an American star. So every suit here has that journey. And this is definitely the one of him arriving in America and I'm here, lads. Let me show you what I can do.
Right, on to the next suit and probably the most important one we've got today. Now, let's move forward to 2020. The rematch between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And Tyson certainly stole the stage on his grand arrival into Vegas with this very special item.
Very much so. There's a very deep meaning about this piece. Obviously, Tyson's legacy outside the ring, I believe, will be the impact and advocacy that he's had for mental health. We, as a brand, we're immensely proud of Tyson, and we wanted to use his platform and that stage to evoke emotion as well as spread awareness. So what we've done here with this particular outfit was that we wanted to get Tyson's faces, whether it was determination, sad, happy, but use all of his mental health quotations that have resonated with people across the garment. Actually designing this piece took a lot of time because how do you spread that message across a garment? And this is what we came up with, and we're immensely proud of this piece.
Yeah, probably one of the strongest pieces, if not the strongest piece that Tyson Fury has worn, just because I think this was the time when Tyson Fury was openly speaking about mental health. We all knew the struggles prior, but he wasn't really having a conversation to the wider public about it. And this piece came out, and I remember seeing it. The suit, obviously, this is the shirt, but the suit, which is a one of one, which is incredible in itself. But I remember seeing it and not really understanding it at the time, and then doing a bit more research and realizing that he's trying to show the different faces, the different stories, the different journeys he's been through. And this suit, this shirt, encapsulates all of it.
And I think when you look at the suit, it obviously made a real statement when he arrived in Vegas, but he made very clear what he was going to do to Deontay Wilder as soon as he arrived in Vegas.
Yeah, and look, let's be honest, no one believed him. I remember him saying, I'm going to knock out Deontay Wilder in the second round, and I remember laughing. Like, surely, yeah. If anyone's going to knock out anyone, it's going to be Deontay Wilder knocking you out. That's how the fight's going to play out. Fury wins on points, Wilder wins by knockout. And the way in which he spoke about it, almost reminiscent of old school Muhammad Ali and Prince Nassim Hamed, where they would kind of give out rounds and how they're going to do it. And I was like, all right, Tyson, let's calm down a bit. You're good, but you're not that good. He shocked me, and I think he shocked the world the way in which he performed. And this was the journey. This was the start of him predicting what he's going to do and doing it. He kind of fulfilled everything, didn't he?
So now, where is the actual suit? We've got the shirt here, which is brilliant, but where's the rest of it?
Well, look, if I'm to be particularly honest with you, it's actually in Tyson's wardrobe. It is a one-of-one, as with many of Tyson's suits that are limited editions. The reason why we're blessed to be able to look at some of these suits in the flesh is only because ever since the impact of this particular suit and the wider message that it had, I started making duplicates so I could actually share the story about the origins of the garments. But this has to be one of my proudest moments and the brand's proudest moments, creating a suit that spreads a message about mental health awareness.
I was going to say, you've created some extraordinary items over the last few years. Is this the one you're most proud of?
This is the suit that I am the most proud of. closely ranked behind that would be our Dossa suit.
Yeah.
Has to be.
So that was part 1 of this Boxing Insider special. Make sure you leave a comment below and let us know which suit was your favourite. Addy, do you have a preference?
Difficult. It's not easy, is it? Let's be honest, they're all good. I got 2. Is that all right? Can I go 2?
Go for it.
Okay, this one, the Lineal one. Oh, ridiculous. And because he was the Lineal Champion, everyone's like, what's all this Lineal Champion stuff? This one made sense. But, I mean, we've got the T-shirt behind us there, the mental health one, and all the kind of photos of his face and everything. I thought that was, you know, it was a story and an important message as well. So I'd go for those 2 as being my favourite. I know it's a one-off as well, but I'm asking if I can maybe, you know what I mean, get one for myself. Imagine that with my own little stresses on it. That would be pretty cool.
Absolutely. Part 1 was fun. Part 2 is going to be even better. So make sure you hit like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
Oh, 1 second as well. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell. You should know this, guys, already, but if you don't, turn on your notifications so you'll know when part 2 drops.